What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is NCIS Season 14, Episode 5, Philly. After the disappointing end to the last episode, in that, if you didn't see my review, pretty much I was upset because the whole proposal, I wanted to be said at a better time. I wanted it to be more meaningful, and it was just kind of thrown in at the end of an episode. This episode, while not as frustrating there, still not that good. And I'm getting kind of worried because it's not like not having Tony on the show has destroyed it. I think that's what a lot of people worried about. They're like, oh no, no more Michael Weatherly. It's not going to be nearly as good. It's still pretty good. It's still got its moments. Quinn and Torres coming in, I think, have done a good job of building their characters and showing kind of what they're going to bring to the show, I guess. So that's not the problem. The problem is that the cases have become kind of just I don't even know how to describe it, but the last case, the last episode, pretty much just completely boring. Like, I had no interest in it. It felt like it was just sort of there. I felt like I was just going through the motions. I didn't really care about it. This one, they gave it away almost instantly. Because you've got this Navy officer, he's looking for his Uber driver. He goes into an alleyway because, of course, the Uber driver is going to be parked in a dark alleyway with all her lights off. That makes sense. But for some reason, he goes into the alleyway, he gets into the car, it's these guys with ski masks on. One of them's just like, yeah, you're not going to tell anybody about it, gets him into the car, and then the MI6 officer that was working with the team last season calls and says, I'm looking for a friend of mine who I'm working with in MI6. I found this dead Navy officer, so I want to work with you guys. And then from there, like they find the guy that he was looking for. They find his co-worker from MI6, and he's all tied up. He's bloodied, and he's saying, they're gone. They just left. Go after him. And then he's just like, yeah, I was there whenever he got taken. Whenever the Navy officer got taken. And I'm just like, no, you weren't. So you're in on it. Okay. And then he just starts like these little things that if I had not seen that opening scene, I may have fallen for it. But because I saw the opening scene, I was just like, so first of all, you said you were there. You were not there. So you're definitely in on it. And then the next thing, they find these two brothers, or they find this other guy who's Italian, I think, or something like that. And so the guy instantly, the MI6 guy, is just like, oh no, it's not those two brothers, but that guy maybe, because he never spoke English around me. I'm just like, we heard him say English stuff at the beginning of this episode, so clearly it's the two brothers. It's gonna be the two brothers. Sure enough. Go through. If they wanted to do a good fake out, either don't show the opening scene, or do it so, edited, do it so cleverly cut to make us think that, oh, maybe he really was there. But I knew he wasn't there because of how it was shot. It was so obvious. The guy spoke English, and he just said they never spoke English around me. So clearly this guy is lying. It's going to be the two brothers that he said it's not going to be. It was just so obvious because of that opening scene. It was so poorly done. And that's bizarre from this show. Normally the show does a good job of having a decent mystery. Sometimes it's extremely obvious, but it's still a mystery. It's not done like this to where even pretty much a kindergartner could figure this out. Because of how it was done, because of how it was shot. It's just very strange for me because I expect a certain level I have a standard set for NCIS, and most of the time the cases, they're either at the standard or they're better than the standard. The better than the standard episodes are the ones that are really twisty mysteries. It's like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen next. It seems like these clues are leading one way, and all of a sudden they realize, oh, we were thinking about it all wrong. Those are the good cases. Those are above the standard. The standard is generally like, it's a straightforward mystery. You've got a whodunit. You find this clue, you find this clue, you find this clue. At the end, they find the culprit. This one was just I've seen Scooby-Doo mysteries that were harder to figure out than this. And that's not normal from the show. I can't think of many other episodes in NCIS over 14 seasons that have had an episode like this where they gave it away in the first minute of the show. I don't know. I'm really upset because this is coming off of the back of, like I said, an episode that ended with a proposal that was out of nowhere and didn't fit very well with the episode. And so now you're going to open up with this case that just you gave away in the first minute? It doesn't... I'm very frustrated because I don't want the show to just start dropping off. 14 seasons, I'm surprised it hasn't started dropping off yet, but at the same time, to finally start dropping off right now, and to drop off so poorly like this, it makes me frustrated, it makes me a bit worried about what the rest of the season holds. Are we going to get more episodes like this, where it's going to be so easy to figure out because of how poor it was shot, because of how poorly it was directed? I don't know. I'm very frustrated. This other stuff in it, you've got some funny stuff with Torres and McGee because Torres is stuck in the office. Gibbs is trying to... I think he's trying to do a little bit of hard love with him. Like he's trying to force him to work in the office outside of his comfort zone to make him see it's not about you. It's not about what you want. It's about what the team needs. And right now the team needs Bishop and Quinn to go there, not you. So it's kind of interesting to see how he's dealing with that. It was funny to see McGee and Torres working together. Some of the scenes they had, like when they go to the club and Torres just starts to jump up on the table and starts dancing, and then all of a sudden it's just like McGee's standing right behind him with guns pointed on both the other guys. And then the scene in the interrogation room I thought was probably easily the best part of this episode, where the guy thinks he's talking to McGee and Torres, and it's just like, well, you got this good cop, bad cop routine? And McGee's just like, what, does he think I'm the good cop? And Torres is like, yeah, I think he does. McGee just like grabs his arm and like pushes him down on the table and like is about to break it. He's like, okay, I'll talk. And Torres, he had this one little line. He's just like, oh, I'm not going to stop him. He's actually scared me now. It was funny. So that was good stuff. The stuff with Quinn was fairly interesting. It was a sad story where you knew something like this happened, especially when they showed the scene of her holding the woman. It was like, okay, so she probably did something that affected somebody else. Maybe she's the one that got her shot. Okay, she is the one that pretty much got her shot. And of course, Gibbs, it's kind of interesting to see the hard love side of him when he's with Torres. He's trying to discipline him into being a team member. But with Quinn, it's like he puts on the kitty gloves and has to kind of help her through this because, there are certain agents like Quinn and to some extent Bishop. But even, Bishop hated the fact that he was babying her 2 seasons ago. So it's interesting to see him turn into kind of the father figure, the friend that's there to help her through this trauma that she struggles with. But yeah, it was a sad story. It was just not interesting enough because it's kind of been done before. I've seen this story before. And just throughout the entire episode, all I could think is, why aren't you telling anybody? Like, I understand this is affecting you, but you should know better than anybody else. To hold it in is just going to make things worse. I feel like you should know that, having worked with several other agents, having trained them. You've probably dealt with something like this before, like an agent who is becoming a part of NCIS and they've dealt with something in the past that's caused trauma. Unless she's not really that person. I don't know. When I see her, I think she's that type of person. I think she's the type of agent that has helped other agents with their problems before. So, I don't know. I just feel like she should know the best thing to do is not to hold it in. But it's leading up to that moment where Gibbs finally does go to Philly with them and then talks her through what's going on. But yeah, overall, the case was really, really stupid. The way they handled it was really dumb. And I think part of my biggest frustration with that is that because MI6 is involved, you should have a really, really good case. So the fact that you didn't have a good case is kind of like that's even more disappointing. But you know, the stuff in the background with the team, that's still decent stuff. So I'm frustrated. Hopefully the cases get better. Hopefully the stuff with our characters with the team gets better, because if both of them aren't that good, then you've pretty much lost the entirety of what NCIS is all about. So hopefully it gets better from here, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Did you get frustrated by this episode? What do you think is going to happen next? What do you think is going to happen with the team? All that stuff, let me know. We can talk about, discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future NCIS reviews, and I'll see you with the next one. Peace out.